Hey everyone, how are we doing? Bill here from Means Likeness and Health. So let's talk about what this channel will be about and how it will function. Now, we will be talking about all the valuable info that have to do with a man's life, okay? So it will be about women, it will be about relationships, and it will be about how a man can and could handle all the situations included in these fields of interaction. But apart from that, it will be much more. This is because the way a man thinks and acts during these situations is extremely important. Why is that? Because in order to handle them and in order to experience healthy relationships in general in your lives, you have to have your best self. Now, why is the best self? It might surprise you or it might seem very simple to you, but it mainly has to do with cognition. It has to do with the knowledge of yourself, knowing what you are, knowing what you lack, and knowing where and when and how you want to go. Now, all this is much more difficult than what it seems to be. Most men don't really achieve it ever. Um, because the thing is that apart from knowledge, it also needs experience. It needs a lot of it, and this needs to be broken down and examined in collaboration with this knowledge. Okay, so apart from the knowledge that you might have, that you might get from this channel, for example, and that you will actually, if you follow me in all my videos, you really need experience, okay, and you really need to put things into perspective. Now, we have to do practice, okay, which again is closely connected to experience. Now, a man's best self, I have to say as a disclaimer, isn't necessarily something objective, okay? Isn't something that you can always point out and say that it is this and this is a best man, this is a man that has reached his peak or something or not. It has to do with what every man wants to achieve in their lives. But of course, when we set goals, we have to really be working on them, okay, and knowing what we want to achieve. But of course, if you don't know yourself, you will never know what you want to achieve, and even more, you will never be able to achieve it. So there's always a common denominator in this whole framework, and I have to say that right now. Things might be subjective on the one hand, but everything is controlled by one basic factor. And this might come as a surprise, but this is something that we will be explaining in the videos later on. This common denominator is biology, okay? And this is something extremely important, and it's something that we really cannot escape from. In the very next video, I will explain more about biology, and um, this is something, this is a topic that we will be encountering always in all of these videos, and you will see how this happens. Now, slowly but surely, you will understand why it is so important, and you will be able to slowly recognize examples from your own lives. Now, it is a fact that nowadays it's becoming even more difficult to achieve this best self when it comes to this point. The reason is the entire situation that modern culture promotes. Okay, we are at a crossroads. We are at a point that, be it the internet or the social media, which is probably the most influential factor at the end of the day, or television, like newly published bibliography, or in general, the collective subconscious nowadays, all of these, while not necessarily promoting directly the ignorance of biology, this is what they achieve at the end, and through several means, even if their intentions are very good. So, based on what happens in the world right now, to put it simply, men have kind of started to ignore their biology and the ways that it functions and the goals that it shows to them at the end of the day. At the same time, men get the wrong messages as to how they should act in order to fulfill their biological means. Okay, after all this chaotic situation, this is the outcome of all that. Again, in the episodes to follow, we will have enough chances to explain and analyze a bit more all this current situation and its background as well. We'll be discussing about these matters and I will be explaining them during the videos to come. But in all the general meaning of this, we have the modern man getting easily confused and disoriented when it comes to what he has to do in order to reach his accomplished place in his life. Okay, nobody is born perfect. Most of us don't, like, actually, I have to say, like, nobody gets perfect, but your goal as a man, your goal as a man is to become as close to perfect as possible. And this perfection is something subjective. It's something that you will have to realize, to find and realize in your life. So at the end of the day, this is why men need help, knowledge, and experience. As I said, all these are closely connected to each other. And even though men had always needed help for this kind of issues, now it's the perfect time to get this up and rolling. We do have the means of doing that. We will be doing it primarily through YouTube. And this is why I want to make this a channel of communication and not indoctrination or preaching, okay? I will be expressing my opinions based on my knowledge and experience, and I will always be welcoming feedback, reactions, and suggestions. I really am looking forward to receiving you guys in this channel and finding out all of your opinions, okay? Believe me, I'm certain that I can help all of us find the man, and maybe even myself, that we always wanted to be. And believe me, again, I know how difficult this is because I've done it in my life a lot, and I'm sure that several of you know it as well. But for the rest, you're about to find out. So in my videos, I will be examining all these issues that have to do with a man's life, as I said. Not only what has to do with women, but mostly what has to do with you guys. Obviously, I will be presenting the current situation and we'll be building upon all of that. But I want all this to be very useful and informative at the end of the day. So this will have to be about you, okay? And this is why I really want your feedback on the cases and on all the topics that we should discuss on this channel. Again, I believe that as we move on this channel, we will be exploring things more and we will be able to talk a bit more so that you can see my orientation as well and I can see your choices, anything that you would like to suggest and anything that you would like to talk about, okay? At the end, not at the end, not actually, I hope to start doing it pretty closely to this point. I will also be making videos with real life examples so that we can see how men and women act and react and what we can all do about all this, namely how we should act and what we should avoid, if we want a specific result. At the end of the day, I really, really hope that all this can be very informative and productive. I really want to thank all of you who have been with me up to this point, and I promise you to make your time dedicated to these videos count. I really need your support, and I would really appreciate it if you can subscribe, comment, and share these videos with all the men that you know, and why not the women as well. I hope that everyone can really get to learn from these videos, and I hope that we can get to make our lives and our worlds much better. I really promise to take in all of your feedback, and I will welcome any suggestions for videos that you would like to make in the future. All questions are also very, very welcome, guys. I understand that for now we are like very few, but we're gonna get it up and running. Okay, guys, thank you very, very much, and stay tuned for the next one. Keep it up, fellas.